Hello, Kendall from Reddit Whiskey, recapping the first of my war attacks this war. As you can see, this is an odd looking base, but the takeaway first was there because of the way these centers are. This is a 3 by 3 space with one wall in there, which means there's either a Tesla or a giant bomb in each of these four locations. But there's no place in this base anywhere for double giant bombs unless of course they're outside the core. So this was going to be a straight hog attack with a couple caveats, and one of the things that I do when I'm planning out my attack is I actually hit the attack button, even before I'm done building my army comp, when I've got just a couple troops, to see where the outline of the drop point is, where the red lines are. And what I noticed was up here next to this archer tower, because of the spacing between this wall segment and this gold storage, the drop point actually went, there was a line, it went almost all the way to this archer tower. So I knew I could drop one balloon and take out this archer tower, unless of course it was mined. But in the end, this wasn't a key defense to take out, but because I knew I could take it out with one balloon, or attempt to take it out with one balloon, I went ahead and used one balloon there. I did also use two balloons down here on this mortar, simply because there was two locations here, and that could have been balloons, it could have been Tesla, so I went ahead and sent two in. There was a lot of open spaces, there could have been a mine, but I just wanted this taken out of the way so my hogs didn't have to go outside of the core to get to that. But when I was looking at it, based off how it was laid out, I really, what I thought what I was going to see was I was going to see a Tesla here, a Tesla here, and then inside the core, two more Teslas and two giant bombs, and that ended up not being what I saw at all. And the reason I thought the Teslas would be here, partially was the wall, but the other side was when you look at where the clan castle is going to pull, it seems like this would be an easy place to pull the clan castle, so I figured they would have protected that a little better. But I didn't want to do the pull from here because I assumed there was going to be a Tesla plus the Archer Queen. It's a high level, level 20. I knew that would do a lot of damage. So, my plan instead was send a single giant in here to kind of tank, and then I was going to send in three hogs. And the reason I decided on a giant plus three hogs, I knew it was going to take a minimum of two hogs, probably three, to get in and get the clan castle pulled because of all these point defenses that are right here. But also I knew that since I was already going to use 15 troop spaces, I was concerned that simply three hogs on this cannon wouldn't also kill the cannon. So I figure if I did one giant plus three, I was going to accomplish two things: get the clan castle pulled, plus get this cannon taken out. From there, the next thing I have to do is take out the Archer Queen, and I could have, if I'm looking at this, I could have picked either corner to kind of go in and get the Archer Queen. She's about even between the two. I picked, though, this top corner, and the reason I picked it was because they put all of these decorations up here, which means I know there are no traps up here. There's no Teslas up here. There's no giant bombs up here. I knew my kill squad would be safe up in this corner. So, the plan was, once I sent in my three hogs, I could immediately drop one archer to kind of as my anchor point. Once the hogs died, I immediately sent in two barbarians, followed by witches, archer queen, wizards, and then I went ahead and saved two barbarians to, once all the skellies were almost dead, to send in two barbarians to kind of flank just to protect my kill squad a little bit better. And then from there, the plan was, once the kill squad was pretty much under, or the CC troops were pretty much under control, I was going to send a golem in here. I went ahead and sent in 6 wall breakers. That was probably overkill, but I knew I had the Archer Queen here, plus these Expos were kind of in range, and I was worried that they wouldn't be hitting. You can kind of, let me actually zoom out, you can kind of see from the Expos, they might not have been shooting at the golem, but they might have been hitting the wall breakers. So I went with overkill because I knew these defenses would be shooting, or I'm sorry, at least this cannon would probably be shooting at the wall breakers. So I went with 6. And then I was going to drop my Barbarian King. Once the Archer Queen was under control, my plan was, and you can see on this base, there are multiple locations where there's a gap in the walls. Here, here, here. And all of those places are going to have spring traps. So my plan was, I was going to send in initially 5 hogs, followed by the rest of my hogs kind of spread out over here, so that these 5 hogs would come in, kill this archer tower. At the same time, this group of hogs would come in and probably be killing all of this stuff over here, so nothing would path over the spring trap. And that absolutely worked perfectly, except you're going to see the Teslas weren't where I expected them, and I ended up losing most of these 5 hogs anyway, so I don't know ultimately that was worth it. But from there, it was just kind of healing out. Because of where the traps were placed, I ended up losing all my hogs in this raid. But, we'll kind of watch it through to see what happens and talk from there. So, you can see initially I dropped my 1 balloon there because it was a 1-for-1. Then I send my 2 balloons down here to get the mortar. I get my first Tesla pop, which surprised me. As soon as this archer tower goes in, though, I send my giant, followed by my 3 hogs. I can immediately drop this archer because I knew it's perfectly safe. Once these hogs go down, I drop my 2 barbarians, followed by 2 witches. I stagger the witches. And the way I stagger them is I send the first witch, I wait until I see the green circle, meaning it's spawning skellies, then drop the second, followed by my archer queen, then the 2 wizards. You can see once the first couple skellies almost go down, I drop my 2 barbarians kind of flanking. Wait until the kill squad's kind of dealt, or the CC troops are almost dealt with. I drop my golem, followed by my wall of wall breakers to make sure I get in. Ended up being a little bit of overkill. Then I put my barbarian king down. And then once I see my archer queen is aggroed on their archer queen and going down, you can see I drop my 5 hogs here. And then you'll notice then I spread my next hogs over here. You can see this works all right, except that almost all of my hogs die. Nothing paths over that spring trap, but I ended up losing 4 hogs there anyway, so I'm not 100% sure that was really worth it. So I tried to save 3 hogs in a spring trap and lost 4, but get my first heal down. Hit a giant bomb there. I kind of assumed I was going to get either a Tesla over here, so I kind of dropped my next heal and ended up getting no Tesla pop, which means there was going to be another giant bomb, so I had to use another heal here. And then I get my real surprise was I had a Tesla pop down here, which I wasn't expecting. And I also had a group of hogs that broke out up here, and this golem was tanking, so these weren't a whole lot of damage, but you can see these skelly traps were on that, and I did have some point dispenses, so I went ahead and dropped another heal over here to keep these up. All the Teslas ended up being outside of the core, which kind of really surprised me. But I hit a spring trap there. All my heals are down, so now I'm just kind of waiting everything out. I hit another giant bomb there, but luckily I had just enough hogs to kind of get through and get all the defenses. But they were at low health, so after they take care of the skellies, then the Barbarian King kind of takes them out. So next I've got my kill squad, and I had 1 archer left. I kind of dropped it over here for cleanup. I did still, though, have the ability on my Barbarian King and Archer Queen. So I kind of got just lucky with this raid. I think I would have probably planned things out a little differently had I known all the Teslas were outside of the core. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it really again to figure out what I would have done differently. But, luckily my heroes were able to kind of carry the day there and help kind of tank for everything. And that worked out, and I ended up getting the 3 stars. So that was my plan. I'd love to hear if you guys have better ideas on how to improve from that, but that's kind of what I came up with, and sometimes they're a little strange than you expect. So hope this helps. If there's anything you guys would like to see differently or me to add to the videos, please let me know. Thanks a lot.